Well, hello YouTubers and welcome to my desktop. Please subscribe. Now in this tutorial, I'm going to be talking about the picture style editor from Canon. Now before you decide to turn this tutorial off and say picture style editor sucks, you're probably right. Actually it does suck if you are a photographer. But if you do video, this is the program you want to learn to get the most out of your H.264 codec. And it's actually the same program that I know Marvel's has used to create their cine style picture profile, but I'm not sure if Technicolor has, but you can get the exact same look Technicolor has by using this application. It's actually very easy. But I will warn you, the controls may drive you over the edge and make you do horrible things to computers like this. Any questions? And like I said, subscribe because I'm running out of money now because I destroyed all my equipment. So let's get started. Okay, what I have here is some CR2 files. It's basically the RAW files. And this works for video because anything that comes off your sensor is going to be a RAW file. And it's up to this program, which is basically the internal algorithm in your camera that's going to process your RAW files. So this is kind of important because you can take it above and beyond what normally you have in the standard picture files that Canon gives you. So I'm going to start with, let's say, this house. Okay, so tell me I was using default picture style. So let's do this real quick. It's going to open up and we're going to go to neutral. And this is kind of the base format that everyone uses for the neutral. They're going to have this all the way down and this all the way down. And you can see it gives you a good bit of dynamic range. But there's definitely a lot more we can get out of this from your sensor to your H.264 codec. And this curve right here is going to be in your processing your camera in your picture style. So if you want to bring out more in the sky, we can start tweaking a little bit. See, already you can see we have more sky, but we've kind of crushed our blacks here. So let's go ahead and bring up our blacks. And then already you can see, as opposed to just reset this, you're definitely getting a couple more stops in your sky, and this is going to help, especially for the H.264 codecs. So let's go ahead and open up a very familiar picture style that you guys know, and that is going to be Marvel's. So let's go ahead and open it up. And if you notice, it's not much different than the regular neutral picture style. Let's go ahead and turn this down, that down, and that is pretty much your Marvel's. And there's two spots in this. They use the specific colors to adjust their picture style. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of all this, and pretty much that's Marvel's. You know what, let's just go ahead and do this. I'm going to close this and let's just go in here and do something where we can do with Marvel's, because we can do better, you can do better. This is how you make your picture styles, and I'm just going to take that Marvel's right here and put it into this guy right here, because after this you don't need that or Technicolors, any of these given things to you, because not every picture style works for every single lighting scenario. Okay, so what do I mean by not every picture style works for every single lighting scenario? I'll give you a really good example right here. Now whenever you want to reset this, it's easiest just to drag the same file on there and it's going to default back to a regular picture style. Now it's important for you to know that your custom-made picture profiles will not work in the picture style editor. And what I mean by that is it's always going to default back to one of these standard picture profiles, and it's going to get rid of your curve information that you have put into your picture profile. So I'm going to load up one of my self-made ones, and let's load up this one. Now let's load up my my Sun one, and this one's really aggressive on the highlights and really aggressive on the shadows. You know, it might work great for this lighting scenario. I'm going to go ahead and load up this crab right here. Let's go ahead and load this guy up. And this is completely different. The highlights and the shadows aren't the same. It's just different color temperatures and all that jazz. But you notice I went back to whatever I took this picture of, which is going to be portrait. So I'm going to go back to standard so that we can see what I'm talking about. Now I'm going to load the Sun one back up. And if you see, that's not very pleasing. It's too flat. I'm losing information in here. And when that goes over and transcodes into your H.264 codec, it's going to be really hard to get some of this information back in post. And that's what I mean about Technicolor And what I mean about marbles is that they don't work for every single lighting scenario. So that's why this program right here is so important to learn and have a whole bunch of different curves that you feel work great for different conditions. Like for instance, I'm going to load up, let's see, maybe my TPV night. See how that works. Works a little better. So let's load up another curve. And that's a little too flat, but that pretty much looks a lot like steady style, wouldn't you agree? Because that is pretty much what steady style is, except for I'm crushing more of the highlights on my end. And I got literally specific colors right here. Look at the specific colors as a secondary curve. Don't go ahead and select the colors because it will make you break your merchandise like I have. But one more point, I'm going to save this. And if you see, it's going to save in one of these PF3 extensions. And that is the same extension where you load up onto your Canon DSLR to load a custom picture file like marbles or like center style. Now with that said, I encourage you to use this free software that you might have once overlooked and said it's crap, but it is very, very powerful for video. Now I'm going to show you some of the images that I've gathered using my own custom picture profiles, and enjoy. And like always, don't forget to subscribe.